During his latest podcast, Sean O'Malley spoke to the controversy playing out regarding Dana White not presenting Francis Ngannou with the heavyweight belt at UFC 270. He said the following: "Dana White didn't even put the belt around him. I mean, he's the boss. He's the man. You're going to talk shit about the whole company, and I get it. I'm just saying. I bet Francis honestly didn't even give a fuck though." Francis Ngannou triumphed over Ciryl at UFC 270 this past weekend in Anaheim, California. By unanimous decision, he retained his heavyweight belt, making it 6 wins in a row for Ngannou. For Ciryl, this was his first defeat in the UFC. After securing the win, it was Mick Maynard, UFC VP of Talent Relations, who handed Francis his belt. While Dana White not only didn't present the belt to Ngannou, he was a no-show at the post-fight press conference as well. During a recent episode of the Weighing In podcast, Josh Thompson reacted to the cornering from Ciryl's team at UFC 270. He had the following to say: "You want to avoid cornermen who make it about them. There has been a rotating door of trainers that have come through at my old gym that started out doing it because they love it, but then as the fighters get notoriety, they want to make it about them. Sometimes asking the fighters, can I go in the cage? Can I wrap the hands? Can I put the Vaseline on, etc. Then the fighters feel the pressure of what the coaches are doing and saying. That added pressure is not what a fighter needs during fight week. I feel like if this coach had just kept his mouth shut, it probably wouldn't have made as much of an impact on Ciryl throughout the camp. When watching the fight, there were times when he got taken down, and it was like he wanted to just sit back and accept that he got taken down. And when he did, he'd look over at his corner, and I felt like it was added pressure." Big John McCarthy then gave his take, saying, "From this fight, I think Ciryl will learn a lesson and come back stronger. His corner needs to learn a lesson too, because they absolutely did not help him going into that 5th round. There were some things that were said where you just think, what are you doing? Not good. During the fight, when Fernand said to Ciryl, we can't lose this fight, it's not we, and it's not about we can't lose. It's about explaining what Ciryl needs to do in the 5th round to win the fight. Give him the information that will help him. Saying we cannot lose this fight, come on, man, that's not what should be said." Kenny Florian is once again thriving in a commentary role and proving there are other places to do so outside of the UFC. Florian, a longtime competitor, analyst, and color commentator for the UFC, has moved on to the PFL, where he offers his expertise, alongside fellow former competitors Sean O'Connell and Randy Couture. In terms of his departure from the UFC, there really hasn't been a clear answer as to why Florian is no longer part of the broadcast team, even to Florian himself. During a recent interview with Ariel Helwani, he said the following: "My understanding, and this is what's been told to me from people inside the company, I guess I said no to being a coach. I was asked to coach on The Ultimate Fighter Latin America, one of the early ones back in the day. I wasn't able to do it. It was travel and all of that stuff, and I was doing UFC Tonight, I was doing commentary work, and I just had a lot of stuff going on at home, so I just wasn't able to really do it. It just didn't make sense, and because I said no, I kind of slowly started being removed from stuff. That's my understanding. That's what's been told to me, not directly, but by people within the company who are close to the source. But I guess that's how it went down. So I stopped doing that, and last year I started doing stuff for the PFL, which has been awesome. It's been great to call fights, be in that energy, and be right up close to the cage again, and that's been a lot of fun." The PFL will return for their 2022 season in April, where Florian will resume his color commentator role, while also adding their new Challenger Series show that gives up-and-coming prospects the opportunity to compete for a roster spot in the upcoming season and the $1 million prize. UFC middleweight contender Jared Cannonier has described surging welterweight star Khamzat Chimaev as the second coming of Conor McGregor. In just 4 appearances in the octagon, Chimaev has established himself as one of the hottest rising prospects in the UFC and a likely future champion. After 3 wins in just 66 days in 2020, Chimaev firmly cemented his status as a name to watch. Those victories brought such prominence and attention that he was even matched up with top contender Leon Edwards multiple times. After that matchup fell through and Chimaev was sent to the sidelines with a nasty bout of COVID-19, the 27-year-old's charge was briefly stalled. But despite over a year away from the cage, he picked up where he left off last October at UFC 267. Against ranked contender Li Jingliang, Chimaev showcased his dominance with a 4th UFC finish. From fans and pundits to UFC President Dana White, many in the MMA community are extremely high on Chimaev. That includes current number 3 ranked middleweight contender Cannonier. During an interview with Low Kick MMA, Jared praised Chimaev's perfect start on MMA's biggest stage. The veteran even suggested he could be the second coming of the sport's biggest superstar, former 2-division UFC champion McGregor. You know, he's a hot prospect right now. Dana's pretty hot on him, and from what he's shown in the octagon, the dude looks like the second coming of Conor McGregor. But I don't even like to make that comparison because he is his own self, he is his own man, and he's doing his own thing. I tip my hat to the man. He's doing a good job. If he comes up to 85, that'd be cool too. The more the merrier as far as I'm concerned. If Chimaev is to come close to reaching the heights of McGregor in the UFC, he'll have to get past some top contenders on his way to 170-pound gold. The first of those challenges looks set to come against the number 2 ranked Gilbert Burns. A matchup between Khamzat and Burns was initially rumored for this month. After talk of it appeared to die down, a recent report and subsequent social media posts from both seemingly hint towards a meeting in the octagon later this year.